So, Invincible Season 3 just finished wrapping up, and what do you know, this show still manages to be really good. Now it's good, but not perfect. It's definitely the best superhero show on TV right now. There's a lot to love, but there's also some issues that I think are worth discussing. Oh, and before we get started, this video will have spoilers since you can't really talk about this season without delving into spoilers, so here is your spoiler warning. And let's start with the story. The season does a good job of continuing where Season 2 left off, with Mark training and preparing for the inevitable Viltrumite invasion. There's a lot of personal character struggles this time around, which I really like. This season hooks you with very interesting character dynamics. Mark and Cecil have a falling out, and this was honestly one of the highlights of the season for me. Sure, the fight scenes in Invincible are great and all, but what really stands out is when the show challenges our characters' morals. Cecil is willing to bend the law and work with criminals and murderers, while Mark is justifiably against that idea. The tension in these scenes was fantastic because you can really see both sides and you understand where each character is coming from. We also get more time to flesh out the other characters like Debbie. She's now dating a new guy named Paul, and it was just fun seeing the dynamic between him and Mark's family. Paul is just this normal guy trying to adjust to the family of superheroes, and it made for some really funny scenes. Oliver also gets a lot more focus in this season, and I really liked how they handled this character. Seeing him fight alongside Mark was great. Oliver gets to kill the Molar twins, which was nice to see. They honestly had the least interesting subplots in the show, so it was finally nice to see them get taken out. And I also liked how the season subverted my expectations with Oliver. I thought that he was going to be the annoying, bratty kid who causes family drama with Mark and Debbie, but he actually turned out to be a well-written character. Even when Mark flips on him for killing the Molar twins, Oliver doesn't just go against Mark for the sake of having a forced conflict. He actually follows Mark's lead and he actually complies with him, and he doesn't resort to murder. A great example of this is when Oliver's getting picked on in the park with his new friends. I really thought that Oliver was going to lose control and snap on the bullies, but instead he handled the situation in a calm and effective manner, and he didn't resort to violence, which was nice to see. The characters are still the best thing about this show. My favorite character is definitely Cecil. There's just a lot of nuance to his character. I really like the flashback scenes of Cecil in episode 2, where we learn about how he got his scars. We also see the parallels between him and Mark. He was also against working with criminals and murderers, and I especially love this line.
You can be the good guy, or the guy who saves the world. You can't be both.
You can definitely see where Cecil is coming from and how he evolved to be the man that he is today. He's just a guy who is set on a mission to save the world, and the ends for him justify the means. Cecil is the perfect mixture of Batman and Amanda Waller. You know, he has this calm and stoic personality like Batman, but he also has a contingency plan against the Supes, just like Batman does with Superman. But Cecil also isn't afraid to bend the law and work with criminals and murderers, just like Amanda Waller does. Cecil is just a really well fleshed out character, and he's just cool to watch. I really like that badass pose where he hits the button on Mark, and it just looks sick. The characters continue to shine in these seasons, and that's made even better by the incredible performances in this season. Aaron Paul absolutely killed it in episode 6 as Powerplex. His voice acting really brought a lot of emotion to his character, and you can definitely see where he's coming from. You know, he feels like the Supes are just getting away with heinous actions.
You can't keep getting away with it!
It's nice that Aaron brings his A game even to voice acting, but I still wish that Powerplex was a little more fleshed out. He felt a bit rushed and underdeveloped. I think the whole subplot of, oh, I lost my family because of superheroes, it's been established and explored better in other media, and the show doesn't really do anything to make it stand out all that much. But with that being said, I still think that Powerplex is a solid character, and there's definitely room for improvement with his character. Stephen Yeun once again delivers an amazing performance as Mark, and I can't really imagine anyone else voicing him. He brings so much nuance to the character, and his performance in episode 8 is amazing when he's just filled with rage and he kills Conquest. just does such a good job, and it was also nice to see him voicing evil versions of himself. And overall, the voice acting is so good in this season that it almost distracts you from seeing how weird and janky a lot of the animation is. And I hate to say it, but the animation in this season was weak. And it's honestly a shame because this season explored some fantastic themes and ideas, and I really think that a lot of these key scenes could have been elevated with stronger animation. There were a lot of still images during some fight scenes, and they reused some animations. It's sad to see that the animation has been getting worse with each and every season, which makes it frustrating, especially when the fans have been recreating these scenes with better lighting and details, which just proves that the show just has potential for even better animation. Now, I'm not expecting Arcane or Jujutsu Kaisen levels of animation, but I wish that Invincible just had more of a distinct visual identity, something that really makes it stand out from other animated shows. Right now, the animation is average at best, which is disappointing considering how much the story has evolved, and it's clear that Amazon isn't funding the show properly. The show is sometimes aware of its lackluster animation, which is why scenes like this are played as a joke.
I gotta ask, when's the new season of Seance Dog coming out?
You mean the show? Probably not for another year. Sorry, animation takes a long time.
Oh, I can't imagine how much work it must be for those fight scenes.
Yeah, those take a while, but we cut corners in other places to make it manageable. You ever notice that sometimes whoever's speaking has their mouth off camera so you never see their lips moving?
Huh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, or we'll cut to the back of someone's head while they're talking for the same reason. Other times we'll do a wide shot and slowly pan across it. It looks like it's animated, but it's so far away, you don't notice nothing's moving. The best part is, because all these scenes have limited animation, we can make the drawings even better. But sometimes the artists get carried away and it kind of looks like a different show. It's crazy what you can get away with.
This scene is funny, but it still doesn't really detract from the problem at hand, which is the animation. It's obvious that a huge chunk of the budget is going towards the voice cast. This season brought even more big-name actors like Cholo Mereduena as the time-traveling twins, Simu Liu as Multi-Paul, and Negan himself, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest, which I actually think suits Conquest pretty well. Jeffrey Dean Morgan's really good at conniving in evil villains like this, and it was just nice to see him voicing Conquest. And while I love these performances, I really wish that the budget was better balanced so that the animation could get an upgrade because it desperately needs it. You can definitely see that a lot of the animation budget went towards episodes 7 and 8, but I still wish that the entire season was balanced and had good animation. And I'm not faulting the animators, I'm sure that they're all very talented and skilled, but I just wish that they had a better budget to deal with. Another issue I had was also with some of the subplots in this season. I've seen a lot of people call episode 5 filler, but honestly I liked it. Multi-Paul's prison escape was really creative. I really liked seeing more of Mark and Eve's relationship developing. Plus they even brought back Titan and Machine Head, which was a nice touch since we haven't seen them since season 1. And for me, episode 4 was probably the weakest episode. The time travel subplot was just meh. I wasn't a fan of the time traveling subplot in season 2, and I don't think it was that good here. And I get that the whole point was to explore the morality of killing by having Mark kill a mortal, but we already established this with Angstrom, so it just felt like another rehash. That being said, the stuff with Nolan and Alan in episode 4 was great. I really liked their prison arc, and it's nice to see their growing bond. And as usual, Omni-Man steals every scene that he is in. The Viltrumites are just some of the most interesting characters on the show, and I really want to see the Viltrumites get explored a lot more. Seeing Conquest in the finale was amazing. He had a very imposing screen presence, and we finally got to see our boy Glenn getting revenge on Negan, which was nice. But I really hope that Amazon increases the budget because the future fights are only going to get more insane with each new Viltrumite that they introduce. But overall, this was a good season. Invincible continues to be the best superhero show on TV, and I think it really proves the point that we don't have superhero fatigue, but rather we're just tired of seeing bad superhero content. The characters, the story, and the voice acting are all top tier, but like I said again, the animation definitely needs work, considering how popular the show is becoming with every season. But yeah, this was a very good season, and I'm going to give Invincible Season 3 a final verdict of a 7.5 out of 10.